listen, listen, listen. Okay, Power Wash. I love Power Wash. Scorpion Sentinel. I'm at 99%. It's been a bit since the last episode where I was doing this. I don't want to. I'm gonna tackle this guy. I'm gonna get all 100%. But I'm gonna do Seventh Haven right now. Okay, sue me. I'm gonna do Seventh Haven right now. Hold on. Let me go get my headphones real quick. I want to listen. I don't think there's gonna be any music, but I don't know. There hasn't been music the entire time so far, and I'm gonna assume there's gonna continue to not be music, but just in case, I don't want to miss out on it in the video game. Plug it in my headphones. Okay. I hear things now. Yes. So I was talking about One Piece. I need to keep talking. Oh my goodness. Wait. Before I even start going off, this whole damn bar is dirty. Whoa. That is nuts. Yeah, it is so upsetting to look at the bar like this, Tifa. What the heck? Yeah. How the hell did it get so damn dirty? Also, Tifa, I'm sorry. I've been completely, like, disobeying you by... Or, like, being a traitor? Because I worked for Shinra before I worked for you. These are the good guys. I'm like a neutral party in this matter. I'm working for the terrorists and the government that they are terrorizing. Very interesting. Both of these things are fictional, by the way. I'm not going to get turbo political on this game. But man, that's crazy. I need to, like, pull out the big guns. The 40-degree nozzle. I got to start getting it out here. Because this whole floor's needing to get cleaned. I can't tell if that is cleaned or not. Because look at it's like a different... Yeah, I think it's clean. It seems clean when I do it like this. But no, that's nuts. I've got to do the whole floor. Insane. Everything is like... This whole building. That is wild. Yeah. Nice. But this is Final Fantasy VII in Power Wash. This is like the bar that Tifa works at, and Barrett. They both work there, and they raise their child Marlene. Well, I don't think it's their collective child. I think it's just a child that they adopted. I guess I don't know whose baby it is. I think they adopted it though. But her name is Marlene, little child, and she's cool. Yeah, I remember this arcade machine. I remember this thing. Let me look at it up close. Let's get it cleaned up so I can take a gander at this guy. Gold Time Pinball. I don't think that's a reference to anything in Final Fantasy. I think that's just how it originally looks, or what it's originally called, or whatever. Was there another one? What is this one? Let me look here. What is this? Volcano bombs. Oh, that's an enemy in the game in Final Fantasy VII. That's cool. Bomb! Bomb! Yeah, okay. But yeah, that's an enemy in the game. That's cool. I got that pizza sign. Oh my god, it was so dirty that the neon was covered up. They got it real bad in that case. Holy moly. Even all these chairs are dirty and everything. Yeah, I had to come in here before... I guess this happens before the events of Final Fantasy VII Remake, because they're like, I gotta clean it up. And then, you walk in the bar as it is already cleaned. For the most part, at least. I'm starting to get things tidied up here. I feel like it's going to be a while before I start hearing a lot of the ding noise. Because, man, a lot of things are not cleaned up. Oh, my goodness. The whole TV was dirty. They got it pulled up to Shinra Channel. Oh, my goodness. Wait. If I hit this... Oh, my God. The whole building is flashing yellow if I do that. That's, like, bright as hell. That is so bright. Oh, my lordy. Wowee. Yeah, man. No, I get it, yeah. They do not play. These Final Fantasy dirty buildings do not play. Okay, it is gunk and dirt city up here. I feel like I'm using the word gunk a lot when cleaning this. Like Gunk Shot from Pokemon. Like a sludge bomb. A whole poisonous, dirty mess. Like, I mean, just look at it. How could you use any other word? This is insane. Anyways, I feel like I've made enough comments exaggerating how freaking nasty this shit is. Let's talk about One Piece. Because I was talking about it in a few videos ago or whatever. I want to go through all the arcs that I've gone through so far in the anime. I'm on episode like 80. Don't spoil me in the comments, okay? Don't tell me like, oh hey, Luffy dies in 2 seasons or whatever. But anyway, I was talking about Syrup Village. It's all right. It's pretty good. I like Usopp's story and his origins and him joining the crew. It's all good. I like the little kids. They're funny. But it's not the greatest, It's kind of like drawn out a bit. It's a bit silly. A lot of the characters don't really turn out to be that important much later. And it's also the introduction of the ship. Oh, there's a ladder. The ship, the Going Merry, which is a very useful ship. Wait, I would have loved to punch these. Wouldn't have even needed any material. Probably. Speaking of which, you do know about material and Mako. Is she gonna explain to me what material is and Mako energy? Mako? I don't need Tifa to explain to me these things. Girl, I have played the video game. Oh my god, it's going on a Mako is the lifeblood of our planet. Girl, I have played the damn game. I know it is the lifeblood of your planet. Does Final Fantasy VII take place on Earth? Or is it a different planet? I don't know. I know they showed the globe at some point, so we can know by looking at the globe. Jesus. Oh my god, it's in here too. There's a whole separate corner of this building that is just dirty. Just completely messed up, man. That is just... Oh god. Yeah. Can I change the settings to make the camera move faster? Because I feel like the camera moves too slow. Oh shit, field of view. Nice. I show crosshair. Dirt details. Was that off? Did I turn it on? I can't turn it on. Oh wait, I can turn it on. I don't really want that though. What is it? Invert, sticks, no. Controller sensitivity. Controller vibration, speaker volume. Oh, they got a speaker? What does it do? Wait, let me take off my headphones. I don't think it does anything. Does the speaker do anything? I don't know. It doesn't seem like it would do anything in particular. Anyway, let me go back to the setting. Let me go back. Fix some things. Yeah, wait, honestly, I'm going to take off my headphones. I've given up on the idea that there's going to be music in this eventually. It would be funny if there was, and then right as I made that decision, they fucking changed their minds. Let me see here. What was the speaker volume? Yeah, I'm just going to turn that down all the way because I didn't use it. Can I? Oh, fuck. There we go. What do we got? Dead zone, stables. I don't know. It doesn't seem like I can change the speed of the stick. But it's whatever. Anyways, yeah, I've talked enough about Syrup Village. It's all good. It's dandy, but it's not the top dog. Then we got Orange Town, I think it's called, with Buggy the Clown getting introduced. And you meet Chow Chow, the dog. I love this dog. I love his backstory. If there's one thing that One Piece got, it's fucking epic backstories. This dog, he spent every day helping this worker out and having a good time at this little, pet food or something, like store. And then the owner goes out one day and dies. And this is based on like a real story that happened in real life in Japan, apparently. And the dog is so sad that he stays out that same store the rest of his life. Every day he protects the store and guards it from people that are trying to fuck it up. And then one day Buggy the Clown comes into town. He's an infamous pirate who is evil and bad and morally evil and bad guy and stuff. And he's all like, I'm gonna fuck up this town because I am doing bad shit. And Luffy's there at the time, or he gets there. Nami's there, like, to start, and then Luffy gets there. And then that's how they meet also, kind of. I think that's where they meet. Yeah. And, they have a battle and everything. And then Buggy ends up fucking up the dog's store. And it's like, dude, what? You really mean if you're fucking up the dog's store? And he's so sad because the whole store got, like, wrecked but Luffy saved one packet of dog food and he gives it to the dog and he's like, you gotta take care of this now because this is the last remaining memory that you got of the store. And I think that's really nice and sweet and kind of Luffy to do for this little puppy. Very cool arc, but it's very short, and it makes it seem as if Buggy the Clown is not an important character, because it's only like episode 5 in it, and you're like, oh yeah, okay, this random villain is never going to show up again. But actually, he's like very important and shows up again a lot. So I feel like that this arc doesn't like give the amount of importance that it should to Buggy as a character. Because, like, oh yeah, he's big time. He's like a big-ass villain that's going to be very irrelevant later. But this arc doesn't make you feel like that's the case. But I love the dog stuff and the dog story. And there's also a mayor who's like, oh, I don't want to give up on my town. I'm going to fight back. But then he just gets knocked out. And it is funny, but it's also kind of lame, and it doesn't really add much to the story. So it's like, whatever. I don't care about the mayor plot. Ooh, sword. Ooh, Buster's sword. Cloud Strife's sword. I'm cleaning up his sword. I could steal it right now. Okay. So in the canon, this takes place during Final Fantasy VII, because Cloud would have had to have met Tifa at this point. Let me get in there with the turbo nozzle. Yeah, I gotta get in there with the super shit. I gotta get all the little crevices. That's weird that this takes place during Final Fantasy VII, which doesn't make sense at all. Oh my goodness, Cloud, your sword is mighty, dirty. It's all gunked up, man. Nice. Who would have thought that years later there would have been another sword? I feel like this goes against the whole thing. The whole game, it's like anti-capitalist, pretty much. And this is the most capitalist thing ever. A video game where you fucking clean a sword. I know there's a fan base of people who are drooling over this kind of thing. I am, I guess, part of that, unfortunately. I'm not drooling over it. I like it, but I'm not too happy about the circumstances of having to clean this guy's sword. Okay? I'm gonna have to get back to that later. What is it? Listen, I don't know what you've heard, but Shinra is bad. Yeah, sure. Yeah, they're pretty evil. Anyways, back to One Piece. Going away from Final Fantasy VII. Orange Town. It's okay. Let me talk about what are some other ones. I'm trying to think of the names. They got like all funky names that are hard to remember. Can I put the ladder anywhere? Oh, I can only put the ladder in certain spots. I wonder why. Logtown, probably like top 10, maybe top 5 of all the arcs. I really liked Logtown. Going there felt super important, and it felt super awesome. Because this is the town of beginnings and ends. It's like an epilogue, but also a prologue. It's very cool. And it's like you log your journey kind of, I guess. I don't know if that's an intentional double entendre or triple meaning of the word or whatever. But they go there. This is the place where Goldie Roger was executed. And it's also the place where he was born, which is super poetic and awesome. And he's the most important guy, pretty much, because he started the whole thing. He was like, I have the most epic treasure, and I'm the king of the pirates. And he was getting executed. And there was a guy that was all like, yo, dude, what's your treasure, bro? Right as he was about to get executed. And he was all like, my treasure? It's anywhere, dude. Go find my treasure. I got the One Piece. Go get it. Anyone can go find it. It's yours. And then that started the pirate era. And, that's the intro of the anime. That's like the first thing that happens in the manga. It's like, this is a big deal. Goldie Roger, is a big freaking deal. And Luffy goes there, and he knows. He's like, in his head, this is the most important thing he's ever done his whole life. He's like, I gotta go to the place where he was killed. And everyone's like, dude, what? You're some kind of fan, nerd, weirdo about that? And he's like, nah, dude, you don't get it. I gotta go to the place where he's born. And so he's spending the whole time goofing around trying to find out where the execution platform is. And there's this cool villain there named Smoker, who they don't necessarily kill. They just kind of have encounters with him. And it's really cool. And also Luffy goes into this bar where it was like Goldie Roger went into this bar or something. And the bartender is super old as shit. And he's all like, get out of here, kid, whatever. He's like, no, 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 I'm trying to find the execution. And he's like, ooh, I see. You're like a serious dude. You're like serious, bro. You're like about this shit. Wait, let me get that. Yeah, you're serious about this shit. Like you're not fucking around, dude. So he tells him the stories of meeting Gold Roger and seeing like, oh, well, I was like super duper inspired by this pirate, because he was like fearless and shit, and he was gonna go to the sea to be the king of the pirates, and he sees that same shine of inspiration and positivity coming from Luffy's eyes, and he's like, oh yeah, I see. You're gonna be a big shot someday, kid. You're gonna fucking do it, man. You're gonna get out there and be the greatest there ever was at pirate shit. I believe in you, Luffy. And he drinks milk also, which is really funny. He doesn't drink alcohol. And what else happens? There's a lot happens to that. That's when Buggy comes back, like, for real. And there's also Alvida, who is from like the very start of the show. I think they call it Romance Dawn. It's like the first few episodes where there's Kobe. I'll get to that one later. But anyway, I'm still in Lockdown. So like, Alvida's there, and she ate the devil fruit that's called the smooth fruit. So she's like skinny now, and her skin like deflects things, and she can like ice skate on concrete because her whole body is smooth now. And Luffy doesn't recognize her because she remembers her as being a really overweight woman, very, I guess fat is a word. It's they're kind of doing a little bit of the classic cartoony fat phobia. It's whatever. I don't mind. I could see how people would maybe have a little problem with it, but it was the 90s, I don't know. It's not my place to talk. This is not an issue I am deeply rooted in. I'm not super skinny myself, but I'm not like way out there. I'm like, I forgot how much I weigh. I think I'm around like 200-ish, a little less than that maybe. I'm definitely overweight, but I'm not, like, I don't know. Anyways, let's move on. It's not that important to me, at least. It is important to people. Do not discount things. Don't make fun of people for things they don't have too much control over, which is weight. I mean, it's something that you do kind of have control over because you can work out, but it's different because it's like it takes a whole lifestyle change in order to change your weight. And also, some people, it's like a whole thing with genetics, I guess, kind of. Not entirely. Your weight isn't determined like fully by your genetics due to the fact that you can just like work out and do diets and things. What am I talking about? I'm getting this whole, I'm like debating issues about weight. I am not an expert on social commentary. I'm just trying to say, like, I get it, man. Shit's tough. Anyways, this is a cartoon show. These people are not real. But yeah, she's like the first villain you see in the show. And anyways, I was talking about Logtown. Logtown's alright, but it's actually really good. I don't know why I said it's alright. It's really good. It's one of my favorite arcs. And then, after they do all the things, the crew gathers around and they go on their journey to find the One Piece Free. They're going to go to the Grand Line. I think they do a little bit more after this, but... Or no, in the anime, they have like a filler arc that's right after Logtown, which totally kind of sucks balls. It's not it's like still entertaining, but it makes no sense to be placed there because like they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna go to the Grand Line now, but then they totally get sidetracked and help this stupid girl afterwards, and I'm like, oh, they should have placed this filler arc before Logtown, because then it would have made more sense, and I would have been more into it. But I'll talk about that arc in a bit more, but I'm gonna finish my thoughts on Logtown. I love it. I think that might honestly be my favorite arc so far, because it just kind of like, it felt like really important and like the first major events in terms of the grand like overarching things in the story. Like if you were to, when One Piece ends and you gotta summarize the whole thing, like Logtown is one of the most important things you gotta mention, because it's like, oh yeah, this is the moment where they go and like get ready to finally start their journey. Like this is where the journey starts, because everything before, they're in the East Blue. This isn't even the Grand Line yet. They're not even in the zone where they go find One Piece. They're just like getting a little crew together and kind of adventuring and figuring out what they need to get to the Grand Line. You know, they're getting sidetracked and all kinds of things are happening. The log town is the final stop before the Grand Line. Perfect arc. And then also there is well, I talked about, what is it, Apis, the girl, and the millennial dragons and shit, whatever they call that arc. I think it's called Warship Island or something. It totally sucks. It's like entertaining at least, but it kind of goes back to the downgrade of when One Piece was bad, and it has the vibes of the Saturday morning cartoon, but in a bad way, where it's like, oh, come on, I want things to move forward now. You just like teased me with the most epic plot shit ever, and now the plot is like at a standstill because you gotta wait for the manga or some shit. They gotta make filler. And this is the first time there ever is filler in One Piece. Because this is ultimately an inconsequential story. You know, this girl's not coming back. These dragon things are not coming back. And it also introduces plot miscontinuities, or like plot continuity problems. Because in this arc, Zoro like chops away steel with his swords. Later on, you get to this part with this whole wax thing. He can't even chop wax statues off. Something's wrong here, buddy. They didn't think about that one. They made Zoro too powerful in that arc a little bit. There's a lot of other stuff too. It's just kind of silly. Pointless arc, 0 out of 10. It's my least favorite. It's a dumb filler. It's only like 8 episodes though. It's not too bad. In the grand scheme of things, you know, like 8 episodes seems like a lot, but you breeze through it. Because the whole show is, 1,000 episodes. Those are the only ones I would consider not too good. But it's a short endeavor. You get through it. You could ultimately really skip that and lose nothing. You would just be slightly confused when you get to the part where they're going into the Grand Line, because this happens right before they get into Reverse Mountain, which is like the entrance to the Grand Line. And there's a character that shows up for a brief moment who's like a villain that is exclusive to this part in the anime. And he's all like, oh, I'm gonna kill you. I snuck onto your boat and I'm gonna kill. And they're like, yeah, fuck off. And they like instantly one-shot him out of the boat. And it's like, yeah, why did you even have him there? You ruined the moment. But whatever. Let me talk about this arc next. They go in Reverse Mountain. And they get up there and it's very beautiful. And you feel it. You feel it in your heart that this is like special. And it's like, yeah, they're finally going on their journey to the Grand Line. And they meet this whale instantly. There's a whale. Oh, wait. What is it? Soft drinks, Spraker, Soda Star, coffee, milk coconut. Okay. Snack Enjoy. What is Snack Enjoy? Very interesting. Anyways, they meet this whale named Laboon, who is constantly bashing his head up against the entrance of the Grand Line. And they're like, what the heck is this guy on about? Stupid whale. Yeah, and they're like, oh, come on, and Luffy, being the little silly guy, he's like, oh, just shut up, whale, you freaking suck, man, why are you punching the ball for? I'm gonna punch you. Also, it's because they like bump into him, and it breaks off the little like tip of their ship, the little like lamb head that's on the edge, it breaks off, and Luffy's super pissed about that, so he punches the whale, and then they have this really funny moment where it's like great comedic timing where the whale like pauses for a moment and they're like, huh? And then it like looks at them with a gigantic eye and they're like, ah! I think that moment's really funny. There's a lot of really funny shit in One Piece. One Piece is very comedic. It's a funny show. It's a funny ass show. But no, they fucking this whale. Man, there's a lot of shit that's still dirty. They get eaten by the whale on accident. Their whole ship gets swallowed whole in the whale, and Luffy gets lost, and he eventually gets in the blowhole, so he's in the whale too. But then he's like, what's going on? There's like pathways in this whale that were like made by a human, like man-made contraptions of like metal and steel pathways and tunnels. They're like, what's going on here? Turns out there's an old guy in the whale, and he's helping the whale out by giving it vaccines. And helping it, because it keeps bonking its head against the entrance. It's hurting itself through doing this every day. So he's giving it like medicine and trying to take care of it. But he's like, man, this is difficult, and this whale is not making it easy. And then there's these two people that show up that are trying to steal from the whale. in order to feed their town, which is in ruin or poverty or whatever, but with the whale meat. But he's like, no, you can't kill this whale, because he's an animal and don't do animal cruelty, man. And Luffy beats up these guys. They turn out to be good guys, but you don't find out that until a bit later. So the whale is doing all right, or well, he's not doing all right, and then Luffy kind of figures out the story. They tell him the backstory of like, oh, there was a pirate crew here that used to hang out with the whale for a whole while, and then they had to leave to go to the Grand Line, and he said, I'm gonna find you one day and I'm gonna, keep helping you out. But actually they betrayed the whale and they never came back for him, and they some of them I think like died or something, and some of them like quit the Grand Line, and then they didn't go back to the whale and hang out with him anymore, which is super sad and super sucks. And Luffy's like, man, that sucks. This whale just wanted a buddy to like have a fun fight with, like a little friendly man-on-man spar. So he beats up the whale and then draws his logo on there, and he's like, you know what, I'm really gonna come back for you, because I gotta go in the Grand Line too, but I'm not gonna fail my promise like those other pirates. I'm gonna actually come back for you, so don't roughen yourself up, because you gotta be in good shape when I come back. And the whale's like, okay, I believe you, Luffy, I believe you. I'm gonna believe that you're gonna come back, and it's all good. It's a happy little arc. They're in the Grand Line technically, but it kind of is like a bit of a stall in their journey. But I know this is important. The whale's a good character. I bet he comes back later. I know Luffy's gonna eventually come back and see this whale. It'll all be good. I like this arc a lot. It's in my top 5, but I think Logtown is better. But it's still really good. It's really enjoying it. And this is when the story's like picking up and real important shit's getting laid down. This is when it's getting real. Man, I'm 82%. It doesn't feel like I'm 82%. It feels like I'm way less than 82% cleaned. For real. Anyways, let's just keep going in continuity order. We're going to talk about Whiskey Peak next. Also another thing. They explain how the Grand Line works. So, this is important to kind of understand what's going on in the plot, kind of. The Grand Line. Okay, so let me step back even more. Let me explain the world of One Piece, like the geography. Okay, this is relevant, and this is really cool lore. So the whole planet is mostly oceans, and there's a lot of islands everywhere that people live on. But also, there's a whole thing going down not the equator, but like longitude line, like 0, I guess, or whatever. That is like a big stretch of mountain lands. And this is pirate ages where they don't got super cool technology and planes. They can't fly over this very well. Some characters have wings and are birds and can fly, but you don't want to just fly through mountains on your own. So it's impossible to cross, pretty much. The terrain is just too harsh for mankind to cross all around this stretch of mountains, and they call this the Red Line. And it goes upwards, around the whole planet, from North Pole to South Pole, pretty much. But there isn't like a typical, ice cap or whatever. There's no North Pole and South Pole. It's not Earth. This is an unnamed planet that One Piece takes place on. So there's that, the Red Line, and a bunch of ocean, a bunch of islands, and then going across on the equator, pretty much, is a giant stretch, a giant band of water that is called the Grand Line. And it's a line, but it's like a big line, like it's wide. It is a wide line of water. And this is the most dangerous sea that there ever was. There's all kinds of monsters, gigantic monsters that are called Sea Kings. Not to be confused with Sea King the Pokemon. These are Sea King beasts. And they show up earlier and they show up later. They're all throughout the books and the TV show and stuff. And those are some of the most apparent danger threats. But there's lots of other stuff. There's other pirates that are on these seas. There's unpredictable climates. There's all kinds of islands that are unpredictable and full of crazy adventure. And also, compasses don't work here. A regular compass does not work on the Grand Line. What you have to do is get a log pose. And they get one of these from the old man that lives inside Laboon. the Luffy and his crew, they get one from him. And what it does is it's a very useful navigation tool that will point you towards one island. Well, actually, wait, no, sorry. I think it points you towards... It's like you can choose which island to start on. And then after that, you have to go on the set path determined by that log pose. Because it will point you into the direction of another island using complicated magnetism properties that have been discovered about the Grand Line. Because the magnetism of the world doesn't work normally on the Grand Line. So they figured out how to use this log pose tool to go from island to island, but you have... So what it does is it kind of points directly from the magnetism of the island you're currently on to another island in sequence, which is the next one. So imagine it like, maybe, let's say, I think there's like 7, there might be more than 7. You can start on one of however many islands, and then each one of those has a distinct path that you must take that is separate from one another. And they have log poses for all of those. There's also a separate thing called an eternal pose, which is a similar tool, except it is permanently locked on to the data of one particular island, based on whatever it is. Like, it's, let's say there's island A, island B, and island C. If there was an eternal pose, it would be for island A, or if there was another eternal pose for island B, etc. There's one for each island, I guess, maybe. Hypothetically, there could be one for every island. I don't know if there necessarily is one for every island, but with the way they've established this, there hypothetically could be an eternal pose for every island, and it is permanently set to one island. So no matter where you are, the compass on an eternal pose will always point towards an island. So there's an island called Alabasta, and they encounter an eternal pose at some point in the show that, always points towards Alabasta, no matter where they are. And getting an eternal pose kind of allows you to bypass the order of a log pose, and kind of mix and match and go around if you're good enough at navigation. But yeah, it's a real thing. They make navigation like a whole big deal in One Piece. But anyways, so they get one of those. So they start and they go to an island called Whiskey Peak. And it's big cactuses all over, cactus-looking things on the island. And there's a bunch of pirates, and they get welcomed there. They get to this island, and they're welcomed. And they're like, oh my goodness, what? I thought pirates were feared. And is the Grand Line really actually like a fun place? And they have a beer party at a bunch of bars, and they're celebrating and having a great time. But then at night, they're all sleeping, except Zoro is awake and Nami is awake, and they see what's going on because they're about to get robbed in their sleep. But then Zoro has a big epic fight, solo style, with all these people that are on this island. So they got tricked. This was a fake party that was hosted in order to make them sleepy and tired, and then they rob all their shit. And that's how they get them, and they kill them. So then at this point, they reveal, this is a super epic reveal. They zoom in on the big cactus rocks on the island, and actually all the spikes are not spikes, and this is not a cactus. This is gravestones. All the little tiny spikes on this cactus island are gravestones, which is freaking crazy. And I was like, oh my goodness. Whenever I found that out, I was like, that was crazy. I love that part. And Zoro has this awesome fight, and they figure out some information about this organization called Baroque Works, which is kind of a silly name. It's good. It's a decent name. They're bad guys, and they're fucking shit up. And they're like kind of organized crime syndicate, and there's the top dogs, or actually everyone in this organization is ranked by numbers. So there's a Mr. Zero who is the boss, and his name is Crocodile, and I have not seen him yet. Well, actually I've seen him once, but not very clearly. He was kind of in shadows, like, the classic villain trope of like they're gonna show him plotting and stroking his cat, and like, oh, my minions must be doing well on their... But I don't think he's saying shit like that. But it's that, I saw that of him. But there's a Mr. 1 and a Mr. 2 and a Mr. 3. I haven't seen all of those numbered characters yet. The top 10 are kind of the most important ones. All the other ones are just, random number whoever. And those are the people that Zoro are fighting. and it's like pretty crazy. And then eventually Luffy wakes up, and they have this little part where he's kind of confused. He's like, "What? Why are you killing these people? They give us a bunch of free food. I'm gonna fight you, Zoro." And they tease like having an epic showdown between them, but they quickly resolve this conflict, which is kind of disappointing. I wanted to see them fight a little bit more. It is kind of treated as a joke, which I guess is fair. Maybe they shouldn't have a part where the main buddy characters are fighting each other. But I mean, they set it up to where that would happen, and it kind of barely happens. It is cool though. But overall, I like Whiskey Peak. It's nice. But what they find out is actually some of the members of Baroque Works, specifically number 3, and his partner. Wait. I need to explain something else also. Every numbered character, primarily in the top 10, but I think all of them are, they're all partnered with another character who is not numbered, but is named after something like random, and they have like code names. So there's Miss Wednesday is partnered with number 3, and there's like a Miss Sunshine or something, and like a Miss All Sunday or something like that. I don't know. They all got like funny, goofy names like that, because to like protect their identities, don't use their real names. So Mr. 3 is paired up with Miss Wednesday, and they are actually secret inside agents. They're like moles. They're spies. They're actually working for Alabasta. And Miss Wednesday herself is Princess Vivi, who is like the princess of Alabasta Kingdom, and their kingdom is in danger. And she was the one who earlier was there to fuck up Laboon, and she was trying to get stuff for the whale. But nah, like it turns out she's good, and we need to help her out and rescue her and bring her back to Alabasta Kingdom. And Luffy agrees and accepts this task of bringing her back to her homeland. And that's kind of with the middle of what's going on in my, like where I am in the present of the show is like, oh yeah, they gotta help her out and bring her back. And there's also a character. I forgot what her name is. There's a cowboy hat girl. She's there, and she's like the partner of Mr. Zero, and she's kind of more mysterious, and she offers Luffy an eternal post to Alabasta, skipping everything going on, but Luffy's like, no, fuck you, and he breaks her gift, and he's like, I decide where my ship goes. That is a fucking epic moment. That was baller as hell. I was like, oh my god, Luffy broke her shit, and he's like, I'm the captain here, buddy. Okay, no, for real, these pipes are gonna be so annoying to clean. I just know it. Look at this shit, man. Like, what? Why do I gotta clean the pipes like this? Like, up on top of the fucking pipes, I gotta get the beef nozzle out. Go crazy on this. That is just not even legit, man. Like, what the heck? Come on, man. That just sucks. Like, oh, this too? You gotta be kidding me. Anyways. Where was I at? I was talking about... Yeah. Purple Hat Girl. Anyway, the whole thing, it's Baroque Works. It's, this seems like the first kind of main villain organization. And Luffy's crew, they're doing the first Grand Line adventure. It's pretty cool. I like it a lot. So then after they escape, wait, I kind of missed the continuity of it, the order of events. The whole thing where Luffy's like, I decide where my ship goes. That happens a bit after this. That happens after their second adventure on the Grand Line, I think. If I remember correctly. No. It happens after this, I think. I don't know. It's somewhere around here. Anyways, the next thing they do on the Grand Line is they go from this island. They escape with Princess Vivi. And they're going, Also, in general, I'm skipping some details. Some on purpose, some not on purpose. Just to speed up my memory and brain talking about shit. They go to this island. It's not Elbaf. It's a dinosaur island. There's dinosaurs in One Piece, guys. And it's these two giants live there. These giants are from a different island called Elbaf. And I assume they'll go there later. And because they all want to. They're all like, oh, I want to go to Elbaf someday. That seems cool. I'm going to go to your homeland, guys. I know you guys. They're two epic warriors who have been in a 100-year-long duel, and they don't even know why anymore. They've been dueling for so long that they have no idea why. And the volcano in the back, every time it erupts, that's their, like, signal to get ready and start dueling with each other. And that's pretty cool that they've honored this code of fighting each other for so long. And they all meet up, and, you know, at first they're just having funny adventures, and then they encounter these giants, and everyone kind of collectively is like, oh, fuck, they're gonna eat me, and I'm gonna, like, die due to these giants. And that is no good. But it's like, nah, you don't get it. You don't get it at all. No, we're good giants. We don't care about eating you. We want to help you and give you out food and stuff. And they have an epic duel every time, and they're like, wow, that's cool. But then, Mr. 3... Oh, wait. I fucked up. Mr. 3 is not paired with Miss Wednesday. I was totally misspeaking earlier. Mr. 3 is a bad guy. I think it's Mr. 5 or Mr. 8, something like that. Whoever. Curly-haired dude, he has a saxophone of evil, but he's actually a good guy. He's the one that is paired up with Vivi initially, and he dies also. He gets sacrificed. But no, Mr. 3 is the wax guy. Mr. 3 is an evil dude. And he has wax powers from a wax devil fruit. So he can create wax sculptures at any moment and also, like, solidify people in wax. And he's like, oh, I gotta kill these giants because they have a big bounty on them. And I'm a bounty hunter. And I'm gonna get these giants' bounty and get a lot of money. Because I'm evil like that. Evil style. And he has this very elaborate plan to trick one of them while fighting in order to cover them in wax, you know, bring them into a vulnerable position to then get covered in wax. And it works, and one of them seemingly gets killed. And he's super sad about it because he's like, oh man, my 100-year duel is over and I have won. But then he instantly gets covered in wax due to having killed the other guy on accident. Because he doesn't know. He thinks he just, like, honorably killed this guy. But the other guy is, like, he got like, poisoned with evil bombs. He ate bombs. So his whole intestines and stomach are blown up by bombs. And that was Mr. 3's doing. And then I know he's Mr. 3 because his hair is shaped like the number 3. And that sounds stupid if you've never seen One Piece. But trust me. Anyways, he gets sabotaged. This giant character. He's literally giant, like a colossal human guy. And they're like Vikings, by the way. Maybe I should explain things more for people who haven't watched One Piece. But if you haven't watched One Piece, this is crazy spoilers I'm talking right now. And I guess if you have watched One Piece, there's no point in listening to me recap the plot in a really shitty way, because I'm just kind of doing this off the cuff of my head. Off the dome, and this is not very great. You know, I was out here ranking the arcs, and then all of a sudden I started plot summarizing. You know, you hop into the YouTube of, like, retrospective about Zelda, and all of a sudden they start explaining beat by beat the plot of Ocarina of Time, and it's like, nah, dude, I've already played Ocarina of Time. I know the plot. But now I'm doing that, but even in a more shitty way, because I'm not even doing it right, and I haven't even watched the whole show yet, so I'm missing out on it, like. There's probably a lot of this that is, like, foreshadowing, and I'm not even pointing that out. See, I don't know what to do about that. Maybe I should stop, but I just gotta keep explaining. I'm already explaining enough. I should get the ladder. I should get the ladder and bring it over here. Does it? Yeah, I knew they would let me put it here. I need the ladder. That is so annoying. Wait. Oh, I don't need it here necessarily. I mean, I could use it. But man, yeah, I don't know. Man, I thought the robot was annoying to clean, but this is like even crazier levels of, like, you need to clean everything, boy. That is just crazy. The amount of dirt that I have to wipe out on this thing. Like, look at that. There's dirt in the fucking, like, inside of the fan thing. I see it lighting up there. Like, how do you even get that? I'm totally washing it up here, and it's not even given. But anyways, they find out that Wax Guy totally dishonored the honorable tradition of the Viking giants of Elbaf. And they're like, nah, dude, I'm gonna fuck you up, and they fuck him up. And it takes a while. There's a whole battle. It's really tense and really cool. But yeah, they fight him. They beat him and stuff, and it's cool. And it's a really good arc. I like it a lot. I think I like it more than the Laboon stuff, less than Logtown, because again, I think Logtown, that's probably the top for me. That's probably my favorite moments of One Piece so far. That doesn't mean I don't love everything else. The actual journey is, everything that Logtown hyped it up to be so far. So a lot of things are starting to happen. The gears are starting to turn, and a lot of plot is starting to plot. As I'm getting in the show, it's getting me even more hooked. I'm like, oh yeah, all this investment is starting to pay off. Now things are happening, and I'm like getting into it, and the action is cooking. That's what Whiskey Peak and the Dinosaur Island are all about. I don't know what Little Garden. It's called Little Garden. That's what this arc is. Little Garden. Yeah, Little Garden's really good. I like it a lot. Big fan. Man, it's just annoying. I wish that these utensils cleaned better. I wish they did better at their job. All these freaking utensils for cleaning. Like, how do I clean behind the barrel? The barrel's right there. How do I fucking clean it? Ridiculous. What are we doing here? Anyways. Little Garden's good. But let me go back. Let me go all the way back to Baradier. This is Sanji's arc. I already explained in detail in a past episode about Sanji's whole backstory. That's part of this arc. That's probably the best part of this arc. But there's also Don Krieg, who's really cool. And he shows up, and he's all like, kind of just cartoonishly evil, like, I went to the Grand Line, and I got fucked up. And this is the first time you see someone from the Grand Line. This is before they got on the Grand Line. And they're like, oh shit, Grand Line's like scary and stuff. Like, this guy came back, and he's like powerful, and he got fucked up by it. And they were probably only able to truly beat him because he was so weakened by the state of the Grand Line. But even then, he's powerful, and they beat this guy, and he's got a big ass bounty. And in the act of beating him, as well as Arlong later on, that kind of like cements Luffy as like a big threat to society. Because the way the world works in this is that there isn't necessarily like a power level of like how strong you are, like a Dragon Ball kind of thing, but they have bounties. Every pirate has a bounty attached to it, which is assigned by the world government. So the bigger your bounty is, the bigger like of a hotshot everyone considers you to be, which is a really cool way of handling that kind of thing. I think that's really neat. And Don Krieg and Arlong being killed in 2 separate arcs are kind of the chain events that cause the world government to put their eye on Luffy and be like, oh, this guy is like a big deal, and we're gonna put a huge bounty on him, which is like 30 million, I think he starts off with, which is like unprecedented. Like, no one starts off with 30 million, and then every time everyone sees him, they're like, oh, you're the 30 million, but like, whatever, you're such a weak kid. They're like freaking out about nothing, man. But then Luffy does this all stretchy thing, and they're all like, shit, no, they weren't fucking, these world government agents do not play. Luffy's a real powerhouse. Shit, I may have misjudged you. That's all the villains are like. But like, oh my goodness. This job it's fun when I'm like, the whole room is dirty. And then it gets to be annoying when you're in the tiny little areas and it's like the end of it. It's like, come on, I just want to get it out of here. Come on. Because I'm like getting barely any specks cleaned off at this rate. But nah, anyways. Baradier. It's a fish. It's a fish. It's a restaurant in the sea, the East Blue, not the Grand Line. And it sells food, seafood mostly. It's pretty cool, but it's known as the Fighting Restaurant. Bunch of roughhousing pirates come around here, and they duke it out, and they fight, and they argue with the chefs and stuff, and they fight back. They're rough and tough chefs that are like, you don't talk shit about our cooking, we're gonna kill you for that one. And they fight up, and Sanji's there, and he's the most rough and tough roughhouser of all, that totally just fucks up every customer. And Zeph always gets down there. He's the head chef, and he's all like, dude, what are you doing? Stop killing stop beating up all our customers, man. They're like, come on, you're doing it too much. If you want to fight, keep it in the kitchen. That's what he says. But then Don Krieg shows up. He's hungry. Sanji's core belief, because of the backstory he has, where he starved to death almost, but he didn't starve to death because he's alive. He's all like, no, we gotta help every hungry mouth. I don't care who it is. If you're hungry, I will feed you. And one of Don Krieg's little men comes up to this pirate ship, and he feeds him. He's like, you know what? You're hungry? I will feed you. And he gives him a plate for free, even though he's not paying a customer. He doesn't have money, because this is a restaurant. They need money to live. He does not pay. And Sanji comes out the back door as this guy is like on his knees about to die, and he gives him food. And it's very admirable. He's like, you know what, I'm gonna help this guy out. Despite him being not paying, and then also, despite how later on they find out he's like evil pirate Don Krieg guy. Even after Sanji finds that out, he's like, I don't care who you are, I will feed you. But then once he feeds him, later on, and he comes back and they got a fight, he's like, you know what, you're not hungry anymore. So now I'm gonna kick your ass because you're not hungry, which is a pretty badass just thing overall. Like the whole, it's like very epic and like dramatic, and it's like, yeah, like a man's honor. That's the whole show. Everything they talk about in the show is about like your honor as a person, and in the world and on the sea, voyaging, and it's great. Is someone home? Hello? I think my roommates are home. I've been talking about I've been talking about One Piece for the past hour. This episode of Power Wash is going crazy.
Yo, what are you cleaning?
I'm cleaning Tifa's bar.
Yo, Finals Fantasy.
Yeah, look at this. They got the boots on me. Yeah.
Hi, YouTube.
All my roommate just showed up. Hello, YouTube. Yeah. I've been talking about all the One Piece arcs.
This video has suddenly become unusable.
No, it's still usable.
Okay.
Basically my roommates have showed up. Well, not one roommate and all the friends. Whatever. I'm gonna quit out of the thing. We'll see you next time. How do you stop the